All right, folks, we're back with the eye in the sky. Yeah, I think that's what we're still calling this. Anyways, we are doing our disembodied voice spectating thing. On the Union side, we can do our officers really quick. We have Archangel, John Brown, Pax. I missed. No, I didn't miss anybody. That's right, because they have Cav. It's taking me a while. CSA, it looks like the biggest company is Floris's. He's the only name that I recognize officering. So that may change, but for right now, that's where I'm at. We are on a Union attacking map, and the Union has wasted absolutely no time. They have their marching boots on. I like... All right. Anyways, CSA Artie is up there. That was a really good explosion animation. Anyways, Union and Artie is there. I think they're like barely 200 yards apart. This is an interesting and unorthodox, at least for me, movement for the Union this early on. Usually the Union pushes far to the right. Here you have a couple of CSA Rambos that are throwing away their team's tickets in the long run to... yeah, the Union has such a ticket lead that this makes no sense to me. Yeah, my kind of cursory overview of the officers and my operating assumption is that generally the side with the better officers tends to win. There's nothing brilliant there. And given that I recognize all three of the Union officers' names and only one of the CSA... I'm only talking about an infantry, you know, it already is what it is. That would lead my blind prediction before the map is really underway on the side of the CSA. This is a map I think is actually well balanced, even though the attackers have a lot of extra tickets. They need it on this map. I may be able to show you why a little bit later on, but we'll see how the Union plays this. This was a very early push to the Union left, CSA right. Yeah, though they have sharps, and you can tell by the distinctive sound the sharps make compared to the muskets. Yeah. That's true. Although in that position, you will cut off the guys who come from spawn, and there is a little bit of a secret that vets know in this game, which is that those pointy sticks you're holding also shoot bullets that can kill people. And so the Union's working through that. The CSA is absolutely got their aimbots on. I don't mean that in a pejorative way. I just mean that they're hitting their shots. And that may be due to, I didn't look at the average levels, but that there's at least an operating assumption in War of Rights that the CSA tends to pull, on average, higher levels than the Union, and that more newer players tend to play the Union. I'd actually be interested in studying it, but I don't think we're ever going to get the data that is ever going to disprove the assumptions that it's going to continue. I'm surprised the Union... Okay, so I see one problem. The Union's down by 13. That doesn't help. That doesn't make your attack easier. You have a respawn disadvantage as the Union because you only have 3 flags compared to the CSA's 4. And let me just check on the RD situation. So it's the CSA has 10. Okay, so the RD situation actually is not a good explanation for the difference. I think it mostly has to do with the manpower and the respawn. Now, hold on. If we have shooting that close, that means the CSA is up and skirming Union Artie. They're going to look for some out-of-formation kills. That was amazing. That guy just moved about 8 yards without moving either of his feet. And if I was a CSA infantryman, I would be embarrassed at that performance because those Artie guys just owned you. Anyways, here we are. I would be surprised if the Union sticks this out much longer. And as poorly as this may feel like it's going for the Union, it's actually not bad. The relative ticket trade is just about even. You can see that they're about the same spot of battle ready. The officers for the Union have, I think, wisely pulled those groups out before they start bleeding too many out of formation deaths. And they've done some work on the CSA's tickets before the 38-minute mark. I doubt they're going to be able to clean up any of it. It looks like other Union infantry came in and cleaned up those CSA skirms, who probably gave up a bunch of out-of-formation deaths, maybe to take the same number. But when you're the CSA and your tickets disadvantaged on this map, that hurts. Of course, when you have Union guys that are off doing this. Now, they might be... I don't know if that's a lone wolf operation. I think those are Sharps. Yeah, that guy hit his shot. And so maybe that's a self-appointed mission. Maybe it was ordered. I don't know. But we have 2 officers here. Oh, wait, that was an RD officer. It doesn't count. Pax is leading infantry. I thought John Brown was leading the Cav. Yeah, it's the 4th Pennsylvania. Which is actually good because... And I can say this because I just played again under him the other night. Last night, actually. And John Brown keeps him moving, man. We got our digital cardio in, and we're always looking for that flank. So I think that's a good choice there for Cav. Over here, I don't know what this is. Well, I mean, I do. This is the more conventional approach, and yeah, the CSA is reminding us they can come up much further, I think, than you think sometimes, but the CSA doesn't usually see fit to do it for reasons that I think are obvious. But frequently, there's just this long, like, prolonged 30-minute, maybe 40-minute shootout between the Union here on this fence and the CSA back in that Defilade, and the CSA holds those rocks until sometimes maybe they don't, and the RD comes in and rains death, but it's a whole thing. A whole thing. See here, this Union group, they are trying to creep up. Who are they creeping against? Oh, it was Cav in the little bushes here? I guess John Brown, I didn't even notice. I lost track of them. I thought maybe they got wiped and we're back at spawn. They were actually in this pocket of foliage.
Finish them, boys. Finish them.
Yeah, and I don't know if they were trying to rope-a-dope the CSA into this. Oh my goodness, the CSA lost. Yeah. You can come up in melee, and you may even get kills. Yeah, and you didn't. Oh, you got a kill. But that is not a great tickets trade, and it now means the CSA has a flag down up here. And...
Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah, I agree. Okay, but there's more. So the Cav have pistols, right? Oh, now the regular infantry's up. Yeah. So this is the conventional way of playing Pry Ford. We were at 232 on the cat. We started with about 215. We had actually a really healthy server at the end of Sunken Lane for the last round, where I hopped on only for about the last 5 minutes, but it was a pretty easy Union win for the last half of taking losses. Union's moved a gun up there. I thought, I don't know, maybe this is just preparing for late game canister, or the movement throws off any sort of pre-arranged figures. No offense to artillery, I played artillery for years in this game when I first came in, but it's an important sideshow to the game, and I don't mean that in the pejorative sense, but it is a sideshow. The CSA is now down that flag, and so they're actually even on respawns. I did not hear the CSA, or the CSA go engaged. Oh my goodness, this is a Union group, is their left all? Oh, okay, they do see it. So this is the Cav, and if they hadn't mostly died on that, and I think it's only John Brown who took the sense to kneel, and that's why there are 3 or 4 other guys around him. Yeah, everyone else gets annihilated, but he actually got to kneel and shoot because, you know, that's what experience does for you. Before he's eventually dropped. This is a thick line. That might be Floris's line. There's 2. Yeah, so there's 2 officers there, and that explains a lot. Not a great situation for the Union. I don't know that they know what's going on their left. Okay, and the CSA is not going to press their luck. They got a bunch of Union tickets at little cost, and they're now going to call that a victory and go back to the Defilade. Yeah, I get it. I think, though, the CSA might still be slightly behind in tickets. They can absolutely make it up on this map. I have not seen this. Having played CSA already enough, and also played Union Infantry a fair amount on this, if the Union is aiming for those guys in there and overshoots and puts a shot right from an elevated position down that flank, artillery could actually do something. Other than canister. So I believe this was still the Union remnants that were... Alright, so those aren't sharps. But that is... And here's the fellow who likes to donate tickets to the other side. And, yeah. This, yeah, I think the rest of his troop got wiped earlier. And so he's taking up position. Yeah, he's got a little bit of an annoying peak. If I were in the CSA, I would resent that as well. And that works until it doesn't. If you do end up getting dropped, I wonder if the roots of the tree are actually protecting him. Anyways, I told you that for absolutely no reason. It's funny with the sharps because the sharps, kind of like pistols, don't tend... Wait, what? What? They don't render in until you get pretty close. Is that more than cannon fire? It is not. Now, who are these guys? Because I saw the white gloves, and I thought, yeah, Union Cav. Up this far. Otherwise, it's an arty guy. Yeah, I can't blame you. All right, we can't do the 1v1 stuff. As funny as it is, and maybe collectively important, we focus on the big fight. Is this? That is 2 devs. Oh my goodness, my heart. All right, so John Brown's got the cav out here. We know what the 2 infantry companies are doing. They're doing their thing. They're holding it down.
Directly in front of you. You're shooting down a flank of a flag.
Correct. Oh my goodness, that is juicy.
You hit the flag.
Oh my goodness, that is a juicy angle. Oh, the CSA's got the mud thick on the boots. Yes, the all-important drummer taking up one of the cav slots. I actually don't know if that counts as one of the cav overall. I hope it doesn't.
You're hitting that flag consistently. What the hell? Good shots, guys. Shit. You are hitting the fuck out of that. Nice shot. Nice freaking shot.
I think,
Keep it up.
yeah, I think the rumors are true. Now, we've mostly looked at this from the attacker's position. Usually the CSA infantry, it's pretty easy. This is kind of like the right, and that's the left, and you just kind of otherwise look at it and watch artillery come in, and there's not all that much there. Sometimes the Union, as they did at the beginning, they'll come up on a dank flank. But the Union here, you know, the kneeling and shooting, it's not a terrible idea. I'm not as opposed to it as others are. Oh, already tagged him. But when you can't respawn, you're at a respawn disadvantage. You don't want to be taking too many dead. And if you stand in a thick line, at that range, CSA already can just put canister in, and they could shoot down your flank, and they would take out most of that line in one canister. Here, you might be risking some out-of-formation deaths in the form of skirmishing deaths, but you're doing it to allow your guys to live longer. They shoot faster.
Alright, guys. Rush left now. Rush left.
And, yeah, so they've brought the CSA infantry up. Now, that's one company. That was a bit high. Okay. Yeah, I'm not too sure about that one. And John Brown wisely pulls him out, seeing that the numbers were ever not with them. They've decided to move out. He's pulled 2 CSA flags out of the main fight. I wonder if the Union infantry have the numbers to move on this. And we'll see what the CSA... Yeah, arty guys have got to take the hint, man. It's time to either take cover or get out. And you can see the Union got the CSA down. Look, John Brown is putting in... The Union Cav are putting on... Yeah, the CSA don't like getting shot like that. And so I guess they're going to come and stand in here and... That was a very, very timely shot from CSA already before the one officer got up there to shoot at. I don't even know where that guy he just killed came from. But yeah, you can see like the finger guns are there because the gun hasn't rendered in yet. And it happens a lot with sharps as well. But I was saying that what John Brown's cavalry did is that, oh my goodness, guys who play arty, like, learn the game. And I know we're all young ones, but I'm telling you, like, I'm not good at this game, and this is... Oh, you missed the shot. Oh, man. Oh. Rarely would I recommend going up to farm, like, oh, wait. Yeah, but what just happened there? Oh, I think he got dropped by that guy. I was like, did he just win the melee and then just die due to exhaustion? Anyways, I thought John Brown's... Oh, before they got their... They lost their flag. It's recoverable. But they did an excellent job in pulling the CSA to overcommit to what the cavalry was actually doing. That did not require two companies to take out the arty. With CSA arty support, that was a one company thing. Over here, the Union had moved the smoothbore up. And the CSA has lost the outer rocks and preemptively already pulled back to kind of the back of where the CSA can go. I don't remember if these rocks are in bounds for them. I think I actually spawned CSA, so I should know this. Yeah, I spawned CSA. So I think that is out of bounds for them. But this allows the Union to get to these rocks if they want to. And with that, the point, which I really haven't talked about at all, is pretty much this area right over here. Union already needs to learn when not to spawn. If they're coming out here and they're the ones that are getting farmed, they're giving back a significant tickets lead that the CSA infantry had. Will Motown beat? Okay, so he did. And at that point, all right, so the CSA, the main CSA infantry, those are the late leavers, not late comers, but late leavers. They're going to do stuff. I think it's because Pax's group was giving them some sweet enfilade fire. CSA will pull their numbers back over here. This is like the true Defilade, or the truest of Defilades that CSA has, in that when you're actually in it, I think if you take a knee, you're all but unhittable, unless they've just done an excellent job kind of ranging in their shots and how the bullet drops. But the CSA is now kind of forced back into a position to turtle. They're a third of the way through taking losses. The Union's about to go taking losses, but that puts the Union ahead with plenty of time. 25 minutes left on the clock. Union now 1, 2... so this has got to be John Brown going up the side here. Maybe he's looking for some out of formation while the infantry do the grunt work. That's rough for the infantry, right? Because it's 2 flags against 4 flags. I thought maybe the Union infantry here was looking for some... Like these guys here. They're either going to be out of line, skirmishing. And, you know, 4 guys in skirmishing is a lot of tickets gone. So is 2 guys who are out of line.
Cav, we're heading right. Cav, we're heading right.
Oh, okay.
Let's go.
Okay, so they're not going to farm those tickets.
Kill him.
Oh! But he still got dropped. Like, what are you doing, RDA? Anyways, yeah.
Let's go.
So you got to go where you got to go.
Yeah,
there's just a ton of artillery here. CSA is going to come all the way up.
What?
Oh, this group has no idea what's going to happen to them. But I do. It's not going to go well. That flag has no idea what's going on. Yeah, no idea. Oh, the flag's destroyed. The fence is destroyed, which actually helps them. Okay, the Union had a backup group which I had lost. I did not know that. Oh, and that CSA group, they might have been spoiled by friendlies and the timing of John Brown's pistols. Oh, what I thought was going to be a beautiful CSA move to claw back some tickets is going to probably end up being a ticket dump for them. They may win in the end because of their respawns, But they're coming up here a little piecemeal. It's going to be very bloody. If the Union loses their flags, they're going to lose them far back, and they have so much time on the clock that they can wait for them to respawn if they want. Yeah, the Union, with 2 flags back here, they really could use the 3rd. They're just going to keep spawning people in unless the CSA comes back here and shuts it down. Yeah. And it looks like one of the Cav flags are back here. Oh, yeah. Well, it's easy to... Yeah, you always look smarter when you're up here. Except in my case when I'm... Well, still doesn't look too smart. CSA is breaking, and they just lost a ton of dudes in that charge. If the Union was feeling spicy, they could push up. Because they have their Cav guys pushing in. These guys are about to die in formation. I hope it was worth it. And that sounds like John Brown. It is. It is. Yeah. Yeah. He understands what's up. The Union's going to get back here with 3 flags. They're going to be spawning people in real quick. Union's going to put cap pressure on to force the CSA to come to them. The CSA are pretty much running from spawn. Cap recap is out now that the CSA has gone breaking. The Union's up half a morale stage at least.
All you gotta do is hold, guys. Watch the rocks. Watch the rocks with your pistols.
Yeah.
When they come,
you are correct. Okay, so the Cav have pistols, and so they'll be able to do a bunch of damage there.
have your pistols out. Rocks are coming, guys.
Oh no, the CSA is thinking about taking the long route. Oh, they don't have the time for that. They don't want to pay the ticket toll, but they have to.
Fight and go. Fight and pull off. Fight and pull off. Great stuff. Great stuff. Great shit. Great shit.
Another very, very good move by John Brown's group in the Cav here. You could have tried to stay and make the ticket trade, but instead he pulls them out at just the right time to mostly avoid this.
Yes. Here we go.
And now if the CSA wants to come in, yeah, this is just going to be a bad ticket trade for the CSA. They may win this fight a little bit. Okay, friendlies are charging in on the right. This is nice coordination. CSA already had to almost fire into friendlies to kill. That guy's not dead. He's going to get up, I can tell. Yeah, so 2 people got knocked down. 1 died. 1 got up. That's the arty life these days. Yeah. Well, again, I'm usually wrong 98% of the time, but this is one of those times where I took a look at the officers when we started, and the Union was pretty solid all around. And the CSA had names I didn't know. It doesn't mean they're not good. It just means... I don't know. Oh, interesting. Okay.
No, stay here, John Brown. We need you.
Yeah, he's going to say stay here because they want cap weight, and they want to drag this out, and they want John Brown's pistols here, I think. Yeah, I just think they want the Cav pistols to shoot into those blobs. And even if the CSA holds cap here, they're bleeding tickets so quickly. Even if Artie came in, well, they could time a good Artie salvo with a CSA charge and get this to end. But the CSA, they're just opting to stand there. Yeah, I mean, again, a shell in the middle of the line and like 1 dude dies. Alright. Yeah, you could try to hide under the shade of the trees, but the Union's got him here. There's not really anywhere to go because if you move off cap.
Use those rocks, man. Come on, guys, y'all pumped up right here.
Yeah, but if you move off cap, then you're going to lose the cap weight. The Union is very healthy here. All 3 flags, that's all they can get, and they are mostly alive. And they had the sharps and the pistols ticking. The Union already knows where you are. The CSA probably wants this to end, but I just don't think they're going to have the firepower to do it. Yeah, you can see the CSA really wants this to end. I mean, there's some cover you can get on the rocks, but that's it. All right, Union has the numbers. They figure, heck, before the rest come in, let's just go for it. Yeah. In this particular situation, I would say try to always make sure the Cav goes in last and let them be your cleanup crew. After the infantry kind of meat shield you, and then just let those cav come in and just roll off those 6 shooters. Yeah. Yep, Union just goes breaking, CSA goes last stand. If you don't know what that means, then the CSA will respawn. There will be one spawn wave back there, and whoever doesn't spawn in there and dies after that is done. Doesn't look like there's any CSA left on cap, so whoever's there will have to trickle in. Again, having to have to trickle in when cav get to hold with sharps and pistols is brutal. But there is the spawn wave from the CSA. The Union just have to keep their CSA stopping to shoot. Again, think about it. To spawn on flag takes 5 seconds. With the CSA, to reload, aim, and fire accurately might be a 25-second cycle. Respawns are just gonna beat aiming and firing. All right, so CSA is back on cap.
Our main wave is coming.
Yeah, I think. I don't know. It doesn't look like there's too many cav there. That flag needs to get out. Somebody needs to be yelling at heck to get, out of there. But yeah, otherwise they'll do the damage they can. And oh, okay. There's 2. Well.
Everyone kill. Get the flag up.
Yeah, get the flag up and back at this point. All right, so all 3 Union flags are here. They're gonna spawn a bunch of dudes into melee. They'll kill as much as they can. There are some CSA dudes who are really far back. Yeah, very nicely done. This is good flag work here. In these kind of... it's not a pressure situation because the Union has a long way to go before they hit final push. But you want to be close enough to the fight that, you're saving people time running from spawn. And that you're spawning people in, and you give them like a chance to get their bearings before they have to go to melee. Maybe snap on a bayonet, and then get into it. And the Union's comfortable enough that they're doing that. Some guys are reloading. They're on cap. And now it looks like the Union's going to try to push through and just keep the CSA off of cap. And that'll be it. So, yeah, I guess it wasn't a short one. I thought it was a short one, but it's not. But we are just about done here. So I think nicely done for the Union. What did we end up? We only ended up with 237. That's a little disappointing. I thought we could do better in terms of pop, but it wasn't terrible.
Hey, don't insult the Zodiac killer like that.
The Union, I think, is just YOLO charging the arty, knowing that they'll likely time out, but it's the end of the game. I guess in a game you can have some fun. Not too much, right? But you can have some. All right, that'll do it for this one. I mean, you could probably see what it is even this early on. The CSA's defenders are taking more out of Lions than the attacking Union. Now, I don't know where that happened. It didn't seem like there were too many Rambos that were willingly doing it, so it seemed like there were a few on the Union side. But that just crushes. Of course, in the late game, you got to kind of discount that as people are rushing to the point. But even before that, I mean, if you were to have a chance, particularly on a map like this where it's just rough as the CSA, I think you got to have fewer. And perhaps higher pop would have helped them stay in formation longer. It would increase the tails of the Union charges, and that allows the defenders to sit and shoot a little bit more. But anyways, it was a pretty good one. So I liked it. I hope you liked it. And I hope to have you back for the next one.